Hello Aqua friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Nicole and today we're going to do some Japanese maple leaves. I really fell in love with this reference photo from Unsplash and I kept thinking about how the best way to go about painting these very pointy leaves. So stay tuned and I will explain to you the whole process. So keep watching. I'm going to get into that a little bit later and show you my secret brush that I love to use. First, we are going to be wetting the paper and doing this background. So the background is very soft and this is a super simple palette, guys. Basically, the only colors that I'm using is quinacridone red. Quinacridone red is basically the whole painting, except for the branches. I did use sepia mixed with alizarin crimson so that I have like a very deep brownish red for the branches at the end. But basically, this is a very monochromatic painting. So I'm just using a round brush. This is a Black Silver series brush and it is a size 12. I am using this in a circular fashion and even lifting in a circular fashion just to make those soft bokeh lights that are in the background. And I'm painting some C shapes, some circles, and just mimicking those shapes that I'm seeing in the background. Working wet on wet gives us this opportunity for some very soft effects. So this is my secret, guys. This is a triangular brush and it has 3 sides and it has a very fine tip. And to make this maple leaf, you're basically just drawing these lines with the very tip and then you're pressing down on the belly of the brush and it just makes these perfect little shapes. With the very tiny leaves on the bottom of the leaf, I'm just pulling out that color. I counted the amount of segments on the maple leaf in the reference photo, and for the most part, the leaves that are facing us that we see on a flat plane, there are 8 segments. And so you'll see me like counting, making sure I have all 8, but there are some leaves that are sideways and that you're not seeing all the points. And so I'm not worrying about it too much. But for the demonstration purposes, I'm just kind of showing you how I go about it. Now, the best thing to do is to be able to move your paper around or tilt your board so that your leaf is always facing you in the direction that you're most comfortable painting it. So that's why you do see me flipping my paper around. Now, just to show you that it is possible with a round brush, you don't need to go and buy a new brush. But if you're interested in trying this triangular brush and you like doing florals and leaves, it is quite a cool kind of brush to use. I am using my number 6 round black silver brush. And you can see that it is also a very nice maple leaf. So once your paper dries completely, I'm using a round sponge dauber to pull up a few more round circle bokeh lights. And I'm not overdoing it, I just wanted a few. And then you can take your hair dryer or let your paper dry and just make sure it's good and dry before we start the leaves. So I'm using the triangular brush to do the leaves, and I'm picking up that same quinacridone red in order to do these leaves. So with my eye on the reference photo, I'm looking at the position of the different leaves and where they're located to try to mimic those locations of where the branches are going to be. Of course, I am not trying to copy it completely because those are a lot of leaves, and I'm just trying to get that same sort of effect and that same sort of feel of the painting. So I am twisting that board around. Paint the leaves in the direction that's most comfortable to you. So as I work my way around all the different points and segments of the leaves, I do tilt my paper. And then some of the leaves, I'm not drawing all the segments because some are sideways, some are on the different planes that aren't facing us, and I don't want them just all in one flat plane because that would kind of be a little boring. So it makes it much more interesting when you change things up. You can see that I do have to load my brush quite often because we are drawing, 8 different segments in a lot of these leaves. And so I'm good for 2 to 3, and then I have to dip my brush back into the paint mixture. I'm doing some soft, the softer leaves, the less colorful ones are in the background. And at the very bottom of the reference photo, there is a whole bunch of leaves, and I'm trying to just draw in a lot of different leaf shapes, not really connecting them to anything, just having some soft spikes, some angles, and making it look like a whole bunch of leaves. And actually that was quite effective. I was really happy with the way that that bottom part was turning out. And some of them overlap, and so I'm going back in. I know I need more leaves. There's just not enough on the paper yet, and I keeping an eye on that reference photo. You're gonna just kind of look at your composition and see where it is best to place. This was a lot of fun. It was very relaxing. It was a very stress-free. You're only working with basically one color, like I said. So this is a super fun project to try. I can't wait to use this brush to do some poinsettias for Christmas because of how thin you could get the very tips of these leaves. This is going to be perfect for poinsettias, guys. So where there's too much negative space, where I feel like I need a few more leaves, I'm just adding those in. And you can see that layering effect. It's looking pretty neat. Now comes the branch. So I'm just putting in, like in the reference photo, just a couple of branches. Now in the reference photo, the branches are quite dark, almost looks black. And I didn't want that much of a contrast. And so I used a mixture of brown and my red in order to just get a bit of a darker color, but not too dark. I like it. I like the way it came out. So now I'm just attaching the leaves to the branches so that they're not just floating out there. Now that I have the branch in place, I'm kind of looking at my picture and deciding if I wanted to add a few more leaves, which I am. If you guys got value out of this video, then smash that like button and subscribe. That really helps me out on YouTube. I'll see you guys next week.